Hi everyone, this is Miranda from Member Solutions, and I have an exciting announcement today. We are going to be starting a new video series where we're bringing you business tips every week, and we'll be talking about some of the issues that we come across every day working with clients that we talk about at the water cooler or over a cup of coffee, and we thought the best way to bring these to you would be to simply start having live sessions where we just talk casually about some of the conversations that we've had, some of the solutions we've seen our clients using, and just share them with you and get your feedback as well. So today I'm going to be inviting Kristen to join me on screen.
Hey.
I was just kind of introducing the topic here, which I think is one that's a really common issue that a lot of business owners run into, and it doesn't get talked about a lot. So, you and I were just having a conversation about it recently, and I think a lot of people will benefit from just hearing about your experience with clients and some of the knowledge that you have to share. So I guess we'll dive in and get started. Our topic today is chargebacks. Obviously, a lot of people just cringed hearing that word alone. Let's maybe set the stage by talking about what exactly are chargebacks. How do they happen?
Well, chargebacks are initiated by a consumer. They contact a financial institution and they say, hey, this charge is not valid. I didn't approve it. And they can then initiate the process of charging back that payment. The process is different depending on the financial institution, and what comes next is also different depending on, if it's a Visa, MasterCard, or if it's American Express card.
Okay.
So that's usually how they're initiated. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it sounds like there's a lot of variation in there as to how they can actually happen and who you might need to deal with. So, can you talk a little bit about the process when a business owner gets a chargeback and they feel that maybe this charge was actually valid? What does that process look like for them?
Well, what happens is when you receive that chargeback alert, you receive the notification that it's been charged back. And then if it's Visa, MasterCard, generally speaking, they will take the funds back immediately before you even have the opportunity to respond to the chargeback, to validate the charge. American Express is a little bit more lenient. They give you the opportunity to respond and say, okay, yes, this is a valid charge, here is proof. Generally speaking, in the martial arts and fitness world, what you're going to supply as proof is a signed copy of their program or contract or enrollment, proving that the charge was rightfully incurred. You know what I mean? So it happened because the consumer approved it. And when you get that alert from the chargeback, they have a very small window of which you have to respond to that chargeback request.
Okay. So I was going to say the process in theory sounds fairly straightforward, but I've heard it's really difficult to win a chargeback. So is that true? And why, if so?
Not necessarily. I do oftentimes hear that. Our chargeback win rates for our billing clients is about 40%. While that might seem low in comparison to like 100%, there are certain factors that are in there. Anytime, if we receive a chargeback and a client says, oh, just cancel that out, that's counted as a loss against us, right? So that's counted as a loss for a chargeback. If we do not receive a signed copy of the contract quick enough to respond to the dispute, that's also considered a loss. So with all those factors in there, 40% is overall a really good percentage for a win, and that's a lot of money to leave on the table if you're not responding to these disputes or having somebody respond to those disputes on your behalf. Because nowadays, it is easier for the consumer to charge back payments, and it leaves, the vendor open for this. It's not as strict as it used to be. It seems like the financial institution nowadays tend to side more with the consumer automatically.
Okay, so basically, it seems like it's gotten even more difficult for business owners if
It has.
if they don't know how to navigate it, especially. So
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
thinking of it that way, you're saying Member Solutions has a 40% win-back rate, which is good
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to maybe a lot of individual business owners. So what are maybe some of the things that business owners should do to prepare for, avoid, and help win back more of their chargebacks?
Well, the number one, most important thing is to always have a signed enrollment form on file, which shows the specific day of the month that charge, or whatever the frequency is, every week or quarterly, when that charge is to occur. And be sure it has a signature, and everything's legible on the contract. That's the number one thing that you should always have available. The other thing is if you are using a full service billing provider such as Member Solutions, what you want to do is maybe once a week, send those enrollment forms into us and just let us know that they're for scanning and storage purposes. So that way, if a chargeback does come up, which inevitably it will, we have it readily available for our finance team to respond to that chargeback dispute immediately. This would avoid any delays. The window is, like I said, it's very small. Sometimes we have roughly about 7 to 10 days to respond to the chargebacks, or it's an automatic loss. So for any of you Member Solutions clients out there, if you don't already have your contract scanned with us on file, if you receive a notification from our finance team that a chargeback has occurred, you want to respond to that as quickly as possible, because we are here to go to work for you. That's what we do on your behalf. If you are not using a full service billing provider, you want to be sure that you're checking with your merchant to see when you receive those alerts. Make sure you have all the details, and make sure you understand how to respond through their portals or their systems when a dispute does happen.
Okay. So just to recap a little bit there, if you're a Member Solutions billing client, we handle the whole process of trying to win back a chargeback. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. And if you are doing automatic billing through a software or something like that, you will then need to work with your merchant provider to provide the...
Just understand the process. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Is there anything else you want to share about chargebacks? Any other tips for anyone, or recent stories, anything like that?
I mean, that's the primary thing, is having a legible contract or enrollment form or program on file with the proper signature from the card holder. That's your best defense for responding to these disputes when they occur.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Kristen. I just want to say again, we will be doing these weekly tips going forward, kind of giving you a little bit of our water cooler conversations and our day-to-day here at Member Solutions, and give you some actionable tips as well, whether you are already working with us or you are just running your business and need some actionable items to make your day run a little more smoothly, improve your member retention and your financial management as well. So if you would like to learn more about chargebacks, billing services, financial management, retention, any of those topics, we're here for you, whether you're a client already or not. Feel free to private message us on our Facebook page at Member Solutions, or to check us out at membersolutions.com. And we will see you next week for another conversation. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.